We really need to have a conversation about work-life balance, my friend.
This is how an intervention starts. Are we doing it? Now that you got me to sit down in front of the screen for a minute, is this? I'm getting. First, you break down my defenses with your questions. Work-life balance.
We really need to talk about work-life balance for all of us.
I am very balanced.
You especially.
I am the most balanced out of anybody I know.
Oh my God, you're like one of the Flintstone mobiles with square wheels.
I said, moving along. Moving along.
All of us, my take on work-life balance, this and a buck gets you a cup of coffee, but we all spend a lot of time helping other people, helping clients, sitting on Chat GPT with your best friend trying to figure out an ad. But what do you do for yourself? Because I know you work until I get text messages from you at 3 a.m. So what do you do for Eddie?
I text you at 3 a.m. to try to annoy you.
Yeah, good thing my phone's turned off. But really,
I poke at you relentlessly and try to throw you curveball to mess up your thoughts. That's what I do for myself.
You can do that. That's fine. That's fine. But
I let you have this preconceived notion that I have some proper condition.
No, you do. You were the one that said you had a proper condition. I just said you had a condition.
You came up with this ODD thing, me thing.
So we're just going to be squirrely the whole episode today, aren't we?
No, this is how I balance my life with my work. I goof off.
Okay.
And anybody that knows me knows that I goof off relentlessly all the time. And I give this advice all the time too. Carmelina's grandma, she says, you have two choices in life. You can laugh or you could cry. What do you want to do? It's a great advice. What are you going to do? You're going to sit there and complain all day, or you're going to sit there and do something about it? What do you want to do? You have a choice, right?
Right.
You could be negative. You could be positive. It's hard to be positive. I'm not saying it's not. You got a choice, though. You could do it. And as far as balancing, I don't know what work-life balance even means. I still don't truly fully understand the definition of it. I understand the concept that somebody constructed to say you should take time off, right? Because if you go too hard into one thing and one thing only, you end up with your blinders and you can't see the forest through the trees, as the expression goes. So I understand that conceptually. And I understand obsession, because I do have obsession, and people call it compulsive or whatever they call it. People who produce at high efficiency operate under extreme circumstances. And that's just how it goes. If somebody is not equipped, if you are not fully invested, if you are not doing what you are trying to do because you are content with doing it, you're going to get burned out, because you are going to get frustrated because you don't enjoy it. And I'm not saying, you got to love what you do. Yeah, everybody says that. That's easy to say. That's not what am I talking about, okay? You don't have to love what you're doing. You just have to accept that what you're doing is what you're doing. That's the balance. And what do I mean by that is this. If you know that if I complete this task, it will equal this, and I want this, right? You don't necessarily have to like doing it, but the reward at the end is worth it. You're going to be all in with a positive attitude to get that done, because you're going for the reward. And if you're not, then you run into the Al Bundy syndrome. You wake up in the morning, you go to work, you come home, you get bitched at, you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning again. Look, there was an episode where I don't remember exactly what it was, but basically, Peggy was up his butt. And she's like, you're not a man, you're not a this, you're not a that, you should unalive yourself, all of that stuff, right? And Bundy goes, I am a man. You know what a real man is? Waking up, early in the morning, getting in traffic, driving to work, putting in grueling customer service, coming home and then listening to you. Like total Al Bundy moment, right? But that was the thing, was he did the grind. He didn't enjoy doing the grind, so he was miserable, but he did the grind. Okay? That was not a proper balance. A lot of people tell me I work too much and I need to relax a little bit. And I tell everybody, I am relaxed. I'm working. I'm doing what I want to do. Leave me alone. Telling me to go sit and just do nothing for an hour, I'll pass out. If I turn my brain off, then I'll fall asleep. I'll wake up in 20, 30 minutes because my brain turned back on again because I'm thinking of going to do something else. That's how my brain operates. That's my balance. Unfortunately for me, I have made work my life. Now, the reward for me for making work my life and dedicating my life to my work brings me peace, brings me tranquility, brings me focus. And I operate very efficiently under those conditions. So to me, that is my balance. I like it, and it does good. People appreciate what I do for them, and that makes them happy and satisfied. And that interaction that I get gives me a sense of accomplishment, and that makes me satisfied. And there's equivalent exchange involved in there somewhere. So that is what that means to me. So I reject your intervention attempt. Okay. You can try to justify it however you want. But for anybody that's out there that is compulsive or obsessive as I am, this is how I'm excusing my shenanigans, that you think I work way too hard and I don't take enough time to myself.
See, for the past 6 minutes, all I've heard is a bunch of excuses. And just so you know, Eddie, we love you, but we need to have a conversation. On that note, work-life balance, to me, I don't like that term. I'm more old school, and I was taught that you play as hard as you work. If you work hard, you play hard. And I struggle with the same thing that you do, from actually taking time for me, for my fam and all that, because all I do is, if I'm not doing crap with you, I'm at the shop doing stuff at the shop, but I too don't find it a grind. Are there days where I just want to, stay in bed and watch TikToks? Sure. Or whatever that app is, thingy. Sure. But you do have to take some downtime. Everybody does, whether it be a 20-minute nap like you do, because you're like a horse, you fall asleep standing up. Or is it just when I talk to you, you go to somewhere else? It's one or the other. But yeah, I think you got to find some balance in your life, because I think that if you completely 110% focus on, especially behind the chair, if you're just doing client after client after client, day after day after day, it becomes very mundane. And I think you need to step away from it, do something different, have your brain do something different, have your hands do something different, even if it's for 2 hours, and then come back. I personally find myself more energized, especially like after we do shows and stuff, where it's a different thing. I always come back more energized for my clients and for everybody else that has to deal with my shenanigans on a daily basis. These are our points of views, guys. Let us know. Put in a comment, put in a message. Let us know what you do to balance your world out. because you can't do hair, unless you're Eddie, you can't do hair 24/7.
Machine.
Yeah. They developed AI after Eddie.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our caller to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.